Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. So we are here again to talk about the Nottingham Forest game today, and with me today we have Arun and Deepak. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I mean, this is semi-planned to be this late. I wouldn't say completely planned, semi-planned. I was waiting for the window to shut to see if there was any surprises that would happen, but nothing happened, obviously.
So you were a believer during the window, then you were
Ah,
expecting something to happen.
I mean, I was not a believer, more likely. Is there a word called hopist?
It's a thing, same thing, right?
Hopeful, hopist, hopeful, whatever that is. Yeah, that's what I was. But obviously disappointed. Not disappointed, but yeah, that's the reality of it. So waited for that to record this, to be that kind of podcast that goes like breaking news: Arsenal has signed so and so, but Arsenal didn't sign anyone. So
You would be surprised, Vijay. There's still people posting videos on YouTube saying that Arsenal still have a chance to sign Benzema because we can bring players in until February 8th, it seems. I don't know the validity of that claim. I think like once it is closed, this window is closed, you cannot bring anyone in. So that's
there is a science fiction concept called parallel universes. I think those people are living in one of those parallel universes. But anyways, before we start the usual stuff, keep supporting us. Do subscribe, like, share, and comment in. And yes, we are still waiting for people to come in and talk. We still want people to come and talk with us in this podcast. So obviously, you're welcome to reach out. With that out of the way, let's get this started. First of all, the first reaction, right? Like, let me start with your own. First reaction after this win. Were you more relieved than happy about it?
It's relieved, but I was happy too. I mean, like I'm at this point in the season, I'm just looking at like every 3 points that we can get. It doesn't matter how we get those 3 points, because like if you're going to talk about the style of play and the way in which we approach things, those are talks for the first half of the season, and we've seen how those went in the first half of the season. So in terms of improvement, until like say maybe Partey comes back, I'm really not expecting anything big. So for me, it was just like those nervy moments at the end that could have resulted in us like drawing the match and dropping 2 points. But fortunately, that did not happen. So for me, I was just relieved that this game was over. Like I don't we can look forward to the next one. So yeah, that's how I was happy, but more than happy, I was relieved. Yeah.
Deepak, before the start of the game, right? Arteta had the pre-press conference, whatever that is called. In that, he was mentioning something about like he was mentioning something along the line like the squad is so thin or something, and the Twitter and social media kind of blew up. Like you spent 100 million on Declan Rice, you spent like 60 million on this guy, and now you're
No, it
complaining
was,
that
it was more the 60 million on Havertz that people were pissed about, like not the
but
100 on Declan.
no, but the thing is like when he says the squad is so thin, we don't have a thin squad. Is it the manager like not ready to believe in some of the players that he is making that statement?
Probably yes. Yeah. If you have like few players you don't even play, right? Obviously, you are going to say that your squad is thin when you're stuck with like only when you rotate around with 15, 16 players the max. Obviously, your squad is going to feel thin. Yeah, maybe he came from that angle, but yeah, our squad is definitely not thin. We have the numbers, but not the quality. Like let's say City or someone.
We don't
Even
have the quality. Like Tomiyasu is not here. Partey is out injured. Timber is injured. If
yeah,
you add those people in, then we do have the
yeah,
quality, right?
Yeah, that is what he means by thin, right? Those three are like probably starters right
Mm.
now. So yeah, obviously, but yeah, of course, we cannot like. I believe that's what he meant. We have injury issues. All the teams have injury issues, worse than us, probably. So yeah, I don't know like why he came up with that statement. Maybe I don't know. I didn't see the interview, but yeah, we have like three people out, starters, main starters, and our bench. Yeah, even though we have ESR, we
I
have
mean,
Fabio Vieira also
I
out,
mean,
right?
I mean, if
So,
these people are available, then look at the bench, right? You would have ESR in the bench, you would have Trossard in the bench, you would have Nketiah in the
yeah, we have
bench.
a good start. Yeah, we have a good bench if you look at it that way. We have like Partey, Timber, Fabio Vieira,
Yeah,
ESR. It's a pretty strong bench.
so that's why I didn't understand his statement of being very thin squad.
He probably meant like the players that he has at his disposal right now, like the ones that
Currently,
are
yeah.
available. Yeah, like if you think about it, like we have 6 defenders for 8 positions. That's definitely thin. Given that Zinchenko is someone who's not the high quality defender. He brings in a lot of other things, but he's not a high quality defender.
We would have to talk about Zinchenko later, though. But okay, coming back to the game, right? Like, it was a surprise start for me to see Smith Rowe getting a start ahead of Havertz. I mean, it's a welcome surprise, but it was a surprising thing. Did any of you guys like think that he was going to do that before the game?
No, to
But
be
but there,
honest.
because there was so
Yeah.
much of doubts around, like Gabriel Jesus was carrying Miguel's, and I think what's his name? Rice was not fully fit, is what they were saying. So I thought those were
Yeah.
the positions that might be different. But then there was a surprise start in Smith Rowe.
Yeah, like he has been saying, Smithrow has been doing fantastic in training. He deserves to be starting. So probably it was high time that he got a start in the match. And this was not an easy match, right? It's a tough away ground to go to, like Nottingham Forest. So yeah, I was surprised to see ESR start.
Mhm.
I usually expect ESR to come in between, let's say, like 60th minute or something, which he has been doing for like what, 1 or 2 games recently. Because previously it used to be only he used to get 5 minutes,
Yep,
with which I don't think so he can do anything.
yep.
So yeah, but this was like a welcome start for ESR, and he was I wouldn't say like awesome. He was like functional in the midfield.
I mean, if we like, I thought he was better than functional. Maybe that's my bias, but also like I saw like in the first chance that we created, that was a ball from Zinchenko that ESR runs towards the line and then cuts that back in, and Gabriel Jesus doesn't reach it, kind of ricochets all the way out. And
Yeah,
then there was
that
another
is
shot.
what
He's
functional means, right? Unless you create a chance or like get an assist or a goal, it is just you're linking up plays. But yeah, he linked up play better than Havertz for sure. He was like more involved than Havertz. That is how like those two play, right? ESR wants the ball and stuff. Havertz is more of like let me
at the
get to
end
the
of
box
yeah.
and do something or things like that. But yeah, it was good change and he had a good game. Hopefully he gets another game, but I doubt he would against Liverpool. But yeah, let's see.
Mm. I don't, the first half, right? Like, I felt that we were going back to the patterns. Like, we did not play like what we did in Crystal Palace. I thought we were, it's not because of we didn't score goals, but the pattern of play. We were talking about after the Crystal Palace game that how things have changed in the pattern of play. But the first half felt like Arsenal went back to being the struggling to score
The
Arsenal.
donut of sadness was
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
We were not
Wha-
moving the ball as quickly as we should, especially like after the Crystal Palace game when we saw like there was some change in there when we were actually willing to take those risks, willing to progress the ball faster. But I guess it also has to do with the fact that we are playing away from home. And now the Premier League is such that you cannot take any team lightly away from home. Like every team is capable of beating you at home. So given that, I think that's one of the reasons. But then like is this going to be sustainable? I don't know.
Mhm.
And that's where the worry is, because like we are sort of like playing through an entire half without progressing the ball as effectively as we should. Like by the time we gain the space that we gain the possession that we gain, and we move forward, we are giving enough time for the opposition to come and take their positions up, which sort of like nullifies everything. Our midfielders are not getting enough room to provide those passes, and even in the passes that they do provide, there's so much of fizz, so much of speed at that small distance that it's really not reaching the right players properly. So
So
uh,
the thing is, like, what you say is very true. It kind of like strikes me right now when you are making that statement, right? Like where Saka's goal is from his weaker foot.
yeah.
That is probably the most unpredictable play we had during the whole thing.
Oh, there
Like,
was another one which Jesus missed.
oh yeah, we
Yeah.
will talk about Jesus.
Yeah.
How much of this is Jesus's thing, right? Like right now, we didn't get a player in, and we all know Arsenal has some scoring trouble. And he's our striker. How much of it is going to be like dependent on Jesus the rest of the season?
Pretty much 100%. I
Yeah.
don't think so. AD is, uh, yeah, even like if Arteta comes out and say he trusts AD, if he trusts AD, he would have started more games. But yeah, that is not happening, right? And we also tried Havertz once, which is just like in a hope that he would perform better. And we tried Trossard as well as false nine. So Gabriel Jesus is pretty much what we are pinning our second half of the season on. So hopefully he stays injured and starts converting chances, which is never going to happen, but it is what it is.
That's the part that I'm worried about, right? Like because Arun, you were mentioning about converting the chances in the box, right? You were mentioning about the clear-cut chance that Jesus missed. It almost seems like when it's a clear-cut chance, he overthinks it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like when it's an instinctive finish, he's able to like that chance that he put past our old guy. It's not. I didn't think there was any chance for him to score from there. I thought it was like in the side netting or something like that, but it went in through his legs. That was not a chance. No, like that was not the chance that I wanted my striker to finish. I mean, I'm happy that he finished it, but that's not the one that I'm looking at going like, yeah, he has to finish that. I'm looking at the other one that he misses that he has to finish that.
It's making me think more and more every time I watch him that he is like made to be more of a support striker, a second striker, or a winger rather than the main striker for a team. You know, that's probably like one of the things that the manager would have also considered. Probably like the other intangibles that he brings in terms of experience. Like I'm not like trying to sound like justification of Lacazette that we had for an entire season, but like that's a sort of player that Jesus is. Like he's not clinical, and that's, I think we have to accept that. But then if you ask about dependency, of course, he's the one that we are going to be dependent on for the rest of the season. In terms of where we are going to be getting the goals from a central position, that's going to be him. So yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't want my striker to have just that one shot, which is a mistake from the goalkeeper from the throw in, as the only goal that he scores. But as long as he gets the goals, I guess like we can be happy with what we have at this point. I mean, the rest of the season we do not have a striker, so I don't know if we should be complaining every game. He's going to miss a lot, that's for sure. He's going to miss more than he scores. That's become evident throughout the 2 seasons that we've seen him play, 1.5 to 2 seasons that we've seen him play. So I'm just praying that like guys like Martinelli and Saka come back to form soon. Like, you know, Saka starts scoring soon, and Martinelli starts performing to the extent that we know he's capable of. He scored like those 2 goals at the end of the Crystal Palace game, but uh, when he did start this game, he didn't create too much of an impact. You know, so that's the more worrying part for me than like Jesus missing or scoring. So that's what I'm like more worried about. The goals, where are they going to come from? Because even last season we were not too dependent on a striker for the goals. It was coming from all over the pitch, right? So if we are, that's the way that we're going to be playing, then I would want the other guys to fire as well. So I mean, like it seems like we don't want to blame a Martinelli or a Saka because they are like too dear to us.
Part of it, but also like I think I am
That's
also
not right. That's not justified, right?
like no, a couple of days ago I thought I saw like a post which had like RVP in it, right? Like where that season on the 38 games he scored 30 goals. I mean that's something that Arsenal are
Yeah, but like
known to.
who scored the second highest number of goals in that season?
No, I know. That was the one-man show of that season. But we used to complain about Giroud scoring 18 goals a season, right?
Oh no, but when we played with Giroud, he was the focal point. Like everything was going to him, right? Like even in this game, apart from that chance that Jesus missed, and the last few games, if you think about it, I can think about the West Ham header that he missed. I can think about this game, the goal that he missed. But apart
Oh,
from
this game I have more complaints about it. The
no, I
cutback
mean like in
from
terms of
Smith
misses.
Rowe. Oh yeah, the cutback from Smith Rowe is a miss for me. I wouldn't say that's not a miss.
I don't know. Even that ball did not like that. That's what I meant. Like our midfielders are not really putting the balls in the right way that it should be approaching the strikers or the ones in the box. That's a big complaint that I have, and it seems to be like Odegaard, for example. Yes, he does put balls in. Like some of the balls are amazing that he sends into the box, but it's making the attacker do a lot more work, and the pace on it means that either it's too fizzy and it goes for a goal kick, or it's too slow and it gives enough time for the defender to close that space. So Jesus is not getting enough service. I think we are comfortably ignoring that point. That's my thing. Like, of course, he's misfiring, yeah, definitely, but we knew that. Given that, like, how many chances are we putting that would be easy for a striker to score?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's.
But I don't want to go with this XG, XA metrics because XG is calculated in very, very different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still am not able to comprehend how it's calculated. Is it calculated in terms of the positioning of the ball, the space that it's put in, or like the ability of the person taking the shot? Like, is it supposed to be like an easy shot for this guy, but a difficult shot for this one? So, I mean, like, it's the same case at Liverpool with Nunes, right? Like, he's missing chances left, right, and center, but they have other players scoring the goals.
Did you watch that Chelsea-Liverpool game? The number of chances that guy misses.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's a very similar parallel. Like, they both work their socks off, but they're not able to finish it. The advantage for Liverpool is that they have other players. They have a Salah, and they have a Jota, who's like probably the most clinical of all the players that we have in the league right now. So when you have other avenues of scoring, people talk about Nunes, but it doesn't like get magnified as much as it does with Arsenal. That's what I feel. Like, you know, we're not playing the way that is more conducive for the attackers to score goals. So that's the more worrying factor for me.
I mean, I have had that doubt for quite some time about Arteta's system because our last three big strikers have failed. Like Aubameyang failed being a striker in the system. Lacazette failed being a striker in the system. And now I don't think Jesus is succeeding being a striker.
Lacazette did not fail. That was his level.
Yeah, but still, like, that's the whole point.
Aubameyang failed, and he failed at Chelsea too. The league had moved past him. Those are two things, like, you know, we cannot discount. That's true.
No, I'm not saying those are the only reasons, but I have the doubts regarding the striker in Arteta's system is what I'm saying. And I might be wrong.
Then I don't think so. Jesus' level is this. We have to be honest. That's it. That's why like City sold him and went ahead and bought Haaland. Pep knew this from the first season. He played first season as striker, and then he moved back to Aguero. Simple as that. He thought Jesus would fill in for Aguero and start scoring goals, and he didn't see that. And then he brought back Aguero and moved Jesus to the wings. Simple as that.
Yep. Anyways, the goal that they scored, I felt that was totally unnecessary. But what's that guy's name? The one that got substituted and that, yeah, he just bossed the game when he came on. Just turned the game towards them completely. And
people were treating that we should sign him.
No way. I mean, one game is not enough.
I would honestly love I love that guy. Like the way in which Avoni,
Not just one game. He has scored against us for the
he
last
scored against us last season, and he's like,
and he has scored
if
like against all the big teams.
yeah,
Big
yeah,
teams.
I think I even mentioned it somewhere that like if I were to take someone from the bottom half, it would be him. Definitely, like if I were to like choose one from the 15 to 20 positions, it would definitely be Avoni, or even like I would say 11 to 20. Like that guy is so good, but very underrated, and he's playing in a team which in which like he has to do a lot of work. He was
Mhm.
out for so long, and then he came back, and he would be a great second striker to have.
Mm.
You know, like
He's
he's
like
got
way better
strength,
than
he's got
Eddie.
pace. I'm not going there, but yeah.
But their goal was like I thought that was a mistake from our holy Saliba.
Yeah,
Like
Saliba had a shitty game. Saliba and
Yeah.
Rice both had shitty games. Like, I mean, we need to accept that they both were not well. That goal was like, if you're blaming Zinchenko, for me, that's not justified at all. His mistake was playing him on. That was his mistake. Like the other three were in a different line and he was playing him on. But once the ball came in,
That has been his mistake always.
it's
He's
true.
never in line with the defense.
I mean, Arteta came out and kind of defended the whole White and Zinchenko thing at the end of the game. But then people started pointing out this has happened before, that they both fight on pitch more often than not.
Yeah, because like this guy doesn't even stick to the offside trap. These other three are trying to play, right? And what's the point of
Plus,
having offside trap if one stupid guy is like standing behind the line?
plus for Ben White, it's easier to like bully a guy who's shorter and smaller than him than like a guy like Saliba, who probably would knock him out, you know. So that's also another thing. He probably is more scared of Saliba than of Zinchenko.
But I
Yeah,
think
like this has been happening a lot, right? We say like we have conceded less goals, like 21 goals, and probably like almost like second best, I guess, in defense. But we have been conceding these unnecessary goals, which takes the match to a tricky situation. We always switch off when we go 2-0 up.
80
Every
minutes,
single
that's the
game.
thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's when you need the leaders in the team to step up. But the leader in the team, one of the leaders being Zinchenko, who like wants everyone to keep their minds in the game, loses his mind. You know, that's
But yeah, I mean, I wish these things happen behind
There
closed
is,
doors.
yeah, for me, there is another level for Saliba and Gabriel to go to like
yeah.
probably the top tier of world class defenders. They are still have mistakes in them.
Yeah, they are ones with potential, but like if you ask me, like, is he at the level of a Diaz or a Van Dijk? No, definitely not. Like he has ways to go before he can get there. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think that's the end for our discussion.
But he definitely had a bad game, and Rice too had a pretty bad game.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you have to say, like, you know, just because these guys are our favorites, I don't think we should be giving them a free pass.
So one thing I want to talk about, like continuing with our usual stuff, right? Like I think we'll call that for the game, but one thing I wanted to address before we go to the rest of the matches of this game week, which is Jurgen Klopp's announcement that he would be moving on from Liverpool and taking a year off. I still cannot believe that he's doing that now. I mean, not like, oh yeah, he's on his way in or whatever, but a manager who is on top of this table, on the team is on top of the table. He has been performing really well. He's been finishing second most of the seasons. Why does a manager go to that place?
Yeah, I don't know. The timing of the announcement, I don't understand. Probably he would say like this would fire their team like to win the league. It can go two ways. Some of the players might think what would be my future if new manager comes in. So it's a gamble. But yeah, I don't know. Like the announcement was a pretty like a shocking thing for me at least.
You know, for me, Klopp is like I like and prefer Klopp more than Pep in terms of what he's contributed to the Premier League. My theory is that when he said tired, he meant like fighting against FSG, fighting against this state-run club that, like, is have
Yeah.
unlimited funds at their disposal and like has everything in their favor in the league. It's not easy. Like, what the job that Klopp has done at Liverpool is not being appreciated enough, in my opinion. Like, we talk about Arsene Wenger, we talk about all that he did, but Klopp went a step ahead, was not satisfied with just like limited funds or like selling to buy and staying in the top four. His mentality is to compete for the title, and he instilled that into his team, turning them into literal machines. Like, when we play a team, the team that I fear the most when we play, whether it's at Anfield or it's at Emirates, is Liverpool, more than Manchester City. More than Manchester City, just because of the fact that in a fraction of a second, they can like literally destroy you. That's how good they were. Like, look at the signings that they made. Like, of course, timing played a huge role in it. Him like being able to sell Coutinho for 140 million and then like buying a Van Dijk and an Alisson. That even before getting these two guys, he was able to reach the Champions League finals with Karius, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Karius. Like, which other manager has been able to do that? I really like give the same team to Pep. He would struggle. He would literally struggle. The team that Klopp took to the
That
finals.
is like a different thing. Pep like literally built Barcelona. So yeah, we can go that route. So comparing Pep to Klopp, I don't accept. Pep is like another level manager for me.
Yeah.
For me, Klopp got bullied by Pep.
Yeah, that's the thing. He
In
got
two
bullied by
leagues. In
Yeah.
2 leagues. He went to Bayern Munich, and then he went to this one. But what you made is a really good point. Like Deepak, Arun said, like,
And for me, one last thing, Deepak mentioned about the timing, but I think like players probably knew this was going to happen. That's what I feel.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think like it's going to be the fire, and they like from the point that they so from the time that they drew against Tottenham and they got the ref decisions against them, I started believing that they were the ones who were going to win the league, and I stand by it. For me, even now, I say they're the favorites for the league over City. For me, we are not there anymore, but over City, definitely they are the guys who are going to win the league.
With one, so I'll ask you both this question, right? Like, he has got, if he doesn't win this season, he's got 1 Premier League and 1 Champions League to his name. No matter what, like, yeah, he's made the team better. Liverpool were not a good team before he came, and now he has improved them and all those things. But in history, would he be remembered as one of the greatest managers of Premier League era? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. He's in the top 5. Like, if you like take all the managers that we've had in the Premier League who won the league, there's only a handful. And I mean, like, Ranieri won a league, but we saw what happened after that. Similarly, like, Blackburn won the league. I don't remember the manager. Was it Steve?
Conte won the league.
Conte won the league, yeah. So then we saw what happened after that. So for me, definitely, Klopp is one of the top 5. In my book, he's ahead of Mourinho, I would say. Like for me, the thing is, like, the very fact that he was able to win just 1 league doesn't do any justice to the impact that he's had in the league. Like, he's shown so many other teams. We had, like, of course, we challenged City last season for the title and we fell spectacularly. United were challenging City to a certain point in a season and they fell, but he was the only one who was able to push City to the extent that no other manager before had done. Of course, the rivalry was not anything great to talk about. There was no like animosity. They were like buddy during the rivalry, not something that you want to see between top 2 teams. But reaching heights like 97 points, 98 points, unprecedented. If a manager is getting to that level in what is supposed to be the toughest league in the world, while competing in other competitions, like I think it was a couple of seasons ago, until April, they were in all the 4 competitions.
Yep.
They were in all the 4 competitions, and that's
and
amazing.
that was the
The thing is that people in the future are probably not going to acknowledge this achievement, like the magnitude of this achievement and what he went through during this period. Being able to do what he did with the budget that he had, fighting against owners who had absolutely zero interest in like putting any money into the club, and like the fact that like he was going, like even a couple of seasons ago, he was until April he was in all the competitions doing all that he did. Like it would just be like the Liverpool fans and people like us who lived through this. When we get to the future 5 years down the line, when people are just going to look at those mere numbers and discount Klopp as a manager who and discount his achievements. That's what I feel. Like it's going to be a big loss for the Premier League, which and it also means that it's going to be a free run for Pep to the winning the league as long as he's going to be staying here for. So, like I don't see our manager being able to like win anything like or like compete the same way that Klopp does because of the fact that he doesn't have the experience. I don't see a Pochettino, I don't see an Ange, I definitely don't see a Ten Hag being able to do anything similar to what Klopp did. So his legacy is like I would reiterate it. His trophies do not really justify the impact that he's created in this league.
Deepak, there was a chance that Klopp could have ended up at Arsenal when he moved to, like, before he moved to Liverpool. Is that a very big miss to Arsenal at this point when you look back? He's not going to come back to Premier League after this.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Like we were searching for a manager after Wenger, right? Like, or probably to replace Wenger around that time. So yeah, for me, it would be like top 5, like probably the 5th place, like the top managers of all time. It would be like what Alex, Pep, Arsene Wenger, Mourinho, and Klopp. These would be the top 5. So yeah, like Arun said, even though just one league title and one Champions League doesn't define his legacy, what he has done for the last 7-8 years. If Pep wasn't around, he would have won 3 more titles, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they finished 98, 99, but
Yeah.
City finished with 199, which are like things. Obviously, got bullied by a team like who has like so much support from owners, from the league, everything. So yeah, at least he put up a fight, right? It wasn't like City won the league in March or April or
Yeah.
so they had to go on a run. So it was just down to Klopp that Pep took it to the next level. So yeah.
The thing is, like, what is next for Klopp? I know he's going to take a year off or something. Where else can
Probably
he
he
go?
would end up in a German national coach. That's the max I would see. I don't think so. He said he won't come back to Premier League. For sure, I think he won't manage.
I mean,
Bayern.
he might go to, Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah, Madrid, yeah, there is an opening for them. Yeah. So yeah. Madrid is like probably the most suitable team for him. They have literally like 6 or 7 world-class young players. Probably the exact fit for playing that what is that
Jurgen
pressing
heavy metal football.
yeah, so that would be his next. Probably maybe Real Madrid would stick with Ancelotti for one more season until Klopp comes back to them, and yeah, maybe he would win more Champions League for a team who just competition is there for them to win. He can up his legacy some more.
Yeah, that's true.
Which he deserves actually.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be difficult to see Premier League after him for me, because it's although there are
is here, right? It's pointless right now. It's like it is going to turn into another Bundesliga. Already it's like another Bundesliga for last 6 years. At least it was watchable because of Klopp, that they challenged until the last week of a league. So yeah, hopefully like we challenge, we do something, and I don't know about like who is going to come next into Liverpool, because I don't know, like these set of players would perform as well as they were under another manager. So yeah, if Pep stays for another 3-4 years, it's a return that City would reach like 10 league titles without sweating.
Yep. Well, that is our thoughts on Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, that's our thoughts on Jurgen Klopp. So moving on. Am I frozen or no?
No.
Okay.
No, go on.
So yeah, we'll move on with our usual thing, which is talking about rest of the games in the game week. So I'll throw the games at both of you, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to talk about, or I will choose which ones you guys are going to talk about as usual. So the first game was ours, but 1 second, I'm just pulling up the things. Yes. So Luton and Brighton, that was an interesting game. Arun, did you watch that game?
No, I couldn't because I was watching the other game at the same time. So yeah, I think it was played about at the same time as the Liverpool Chelsea game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but like I was like checking whenever they scored the goals, and it's like it was really interesting. It was like sort of like breaking the Robert De Zerbi bubble, making everyone think that dude's overrated because they have like 3 wins from the last 16 games, and Luton like literally like outplayed them. The way in which they play. Luton are a difficult team at home, and they showed what they're capable of. I'm like really rooting for them to stay up. Like it doesn't matter if they go down next season, but like I'm for a club like that with like a stadium like that and like the resources that they have, it would be huge if they are able to stay in the league. Yeah, I mean, like good for Luton, I would say.
I mean 4-0. So is the De Zerbi bubble truly broken? Deepak, you think that's it? He's not because we were talking about how good he was and stuff at the start, right?
Yeah, he's still a good manager. He makes too many changes to the team. Like he experiments a lot, which is probably, I don't know, naive from his end. Many people are commenting that he is already looking for the job at Liverpool. So Brighton, like who's that? Who was Graham Potter is going to come back to Brighton. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I think they had injury issues as well. But yeah, right now it's time to say bubble has burst, and yeah, but they are still a fun team to watch. Their games are always fun.
Entertaining, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah.
There's 2 games, Fulham versus Everton, which was a boring 0-0 draw. I didn't watch that game. I saw highlights and didn't see anything there was nothing to highlight in that game. That's how bad it was for me. And the next game was like Crystal Palace and Sheffield.
Yeah, this game truly defines what Crystal Palace is, right? If those two are not there, they are gonna get relegated. It's simple as that. So yeah,
Would you take Eze or Olise? Would you take either of them?
Yeah, for sure.
At is going to United. It's almost confirmed, I think. So they're going to pay the release clause. But yeah, if we can get Eze, I would take him. Why not?
Where would he play in the United team?
Well, he'll play on the left. They have Anthony. He can play on the left over Anthony. It's not a problem at all.
100 million or whatever his money was.
Yeah. I mean, like that's down the drain. That's done. Like it's yeah.
They're
it's
going
done.
to take the loss and move on. It's better they take the loss and move on.
Yeah.
The next game, Deepak, is the Aston Villa Newcastle. Actually, I was watching that game a little bit, and like Newcastle didn't do anything very spectacular or anything, but Aston Villa were bad defensively.
Yeah, defensively they were bad, but they still created chances. It was that kind of a game where nothing goes your way, right? I saw the game as well. Yeah, actually, there were 2 lucky goals. The first goal was from corner, which is okay. The second goal was pretty much lucky. The third goal was an own goal, which he couldn't do anything. And yeah, Watkins equalized. They had a goal chopped off as well.
Yeah, at the end, Watkins scored, but it was an offside.
I think it was one of those days for Villa. Probably I think they would come back. Maybe it would be a fight between them and Spurs and us probably, if depending upon next week's result.
City Burnley, Arun, the master
I
meets
mean,
the
like, what's there to
student.
say? Honestly, what's there to say? I'm a little disappointed. I thought they would win 4-0 or 5-0, but they didn't do that. So,
They're
He
not
went,
truly started.
he went really soft with his pupil, I guess.
yeah.
The interesting game, another interesting game for this week was the Tottenham game, Tottenham Brentford. I would say interesting because I feel like Tony has come back with like a vengeance. He's scoring every game. He's scored in 2 games now. He's come back in 2 games and he scored in 2 games. And I felt Tottenham were a little bit lucky in this game because at the end, I think
Yeah, they should have scored.
Yeah.
These guys should have scored. They missed it. Brentford missed it. Like there was a clean shot at the end of the game, the
yeah,
last during extra time that they missed it. So, yeah, lucky, good result for them, I would say.
but that seems to be the thing about Tottenham, right? Like even last game, I thought they were lucky, and the game before, not the game before, but like a couple of games before also, I thought most of the games they are playing well. Don't mistake me, they are playing well, and they are creating chances. They are coping without Madison, which is great, and all that thing. But I feel they are still a lot of results are going their way because of the luck factor, or maybe it's my Arsenal glasses that's making me look that way.
It's just because the way they play right now. They are just gung ho. They just want to outscore the team they're playing against. That's how they are playing. Doesn't matter who it is. If it is City or United or us, they just want to go and if you score 3, we will score 4. Doesn't matter. Yeah, which is what the Ange has instilled in them, right? Which is for that I have to appreciate him. He's not backing off from that philosophy what he has. He's just going forward and doing that. And it's paying off for them. I don't know if this would last. Like probably they might finish in top for this season. And I don't know what will happen next season because there might be other teams like United might come back and stuff. But at least for this season, I see they would for sure finish top 4.
The big game for that game week was Liverpool versus Chelsea. There were so many talks about what would happen, what will not happen, and all those things. And then Liverpool plays what they does. I mean, 4-1 for me was not fair on what happened during the game. I think they would have scored more if not for our dear own Darwin Nunes.
Yeah, there are 2 things, right? One is like them not scoring more, and the other one is like those refereeing decisions, which I feel is going to be the case for the rest of the season. That's where like Klopp leaving, proper farewell, and like all his players coming back from injury, and the league wants him to win. That's what I say. I think for a change, I think the league wants like him to win over Pep this time. Like Chelsea should have got 2 pens. There's like no one talks about it. When we
I don't know
play
how those were not given. There were
exactly
so
like
many penalties.
that like it's like when we played against them at Anfield, they made so much of noise about that Odegaard handball, which could have been a penalty or not been a penalty. Like that's the thing. Now last 3 days, like last 2 days since the game got over, there's been not a single talk about those penalty shouts from any of the Liverpool fans except one that I saw. Like there was only one guy and he said, like, I'm watching the first half again, and that's a clear penalty. There was only one instance. So I do not want to see them complaining about ref decisions against them for the rest of the season. And they are going to get all their chances, all the decisions there. I'm pretty sure about that. But like, yeah, you're right. Like for the first half, Chelsea had like 0 shots, zero attempts. I think they were that bad, and Liverpool were like pretty good. Like they didn't.
I mean, I'm looking at the
wonder if
stats,
Chelsea
right?
had a midfield. That's how it was.
No, that's what I'm looking at the stats, right? Liverpool had 28 shots, and 13 of it was on target. 13 on target.
Yeah.
That's crazy stat. That's crazy
Like
stat.
I couldn't really believe what I was watching. That's how it was.
This is where I think I'll ask Deepak this question instead of you, because I know what your answer is going to be, right? Like I know what your take on Pochettino is with Chelsea, that you still believe that he might come good in the next season. Deepak, after watching this game, after seeing like half a season of Pochettino with Chelsea, do you believe what Arun says? Like he might make this team better in next season, or has he lost his touch?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I thought they would improve a little bit, but yeah, it is against Liverpool, so we can't like judge based on this game. They weren't expected to take any point of Liverpool this game, but I don't like even if they change the manager, it's the same set of players they are going to play with because they have too many players. I don't think I remember Pochettino saying, "Who is that player?" in one interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they need to clear up their like team first of all, and I don't know. Maybe he might improve. He's a good coach. We know that from his Tottenham days. Like he pretty much built that Spurs side. So I guess he's the man, like proper person to take them forward. But I think probably if he doesn't improve in the first 10 or 15 games, yeah, he might get fired next season.
No, I don't. I'm doubting if he's going to last till the end of the
Yeah,
season.
probably, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Well, we'll see. Next two games. One is the West Ham Bournemouth. I kind of saw the highlights. There was nothing in it. There was a boring 1-1 draw. Unless you guys want to add something to it. But I don't think West Ham is anymore in that talk of like good team, up and rising team. I think they've fallen off the wagon a little bit. The last game was Wolves
No, but
versus.
still, if you think about it, West Ham are still like sixth.
Yeah, but they're not looking good. They're not looking like a team on the up. They're looking definitely like a team who's content in where they are and might go down a little bit kind of situation. The interesting, I mean, it's not an interesting game, Wolves versus United, but a high scoring game. United obviously won with 90 plus 7th minute goal from I don't know who that guy is.
Kobe Manu.
Yeah.
It was such a really good goal. Really, really good goal for someone who's 18 and a midfielder to like have that intelligence. Like he was really good. He was really good. I saw the first half and it was all United. I got bored and then I switched and then I come back and it's like 3-3 Wolves, 3-2 in United's favor. So I thought like Wolves would somehow manage a win at the end. And Neto did score, but then last 2 minutes, I was like, if you see this goal again, the way they have a genuine star in the making. Like I
hope these guys don't hype him up too much and give him time to develop. He might turn out good.
See, this is the thing about United, right? They have so many of these players. They always start with like such huge potentials, and then they seem to vanish. That's why I'm not yet excited as much about this player, because we have seen so many players come and go. Every time they would hype someone up and they would be like, wow, what a wonderful player this could.
I agree, but like, in the past, it was always people who were scoring goals that were hyped up. Either they were providing an assist or scoring goals that were hyped up. But this kid at 18, like, is really good in like running the midfield. Like, that's where you need, like, he's going to be like one of those guys who's going to run the midfield for them in the next 2-3 years.
There are so many players. Federico Makeda.
That's why I said like that's the class there. They were hyping up all of these Januzaj, all because he scored a goal.
Even this Garnacho, they will hype for another 2-3 years. He's just like a mid-level player, just a little better version of Anthony.
But yeah, I think that's the end of today's episode. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. These are our talks. So if you as listeners have any insights to add, please do reach out to us or comment in, share it with your friends and all those regular stuff. Keep supporting. Thank you so much. Talk to you after the Liverpool game. Bye.
Bye.